What's good, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing to you a really fun project that I am excited to present. So the last two videos that I did were basically on working and how I work to travel. So the first one was exactly that, how I travel as much as I do and what I do for work. And then the second one was more specific about where I work as far as teaching online. So with this episode or video that I'm presenting to you, I interviewed 3 participants of the very popular program Remote Year. So I talked to them, talk about their experience, and get the inside scoop on what it's like to work remotely for 1 year. So please stick around. The video is quite long, but please stick around, hear their stories, and leave comments in the comment section down below and tell me what you think. Have you ever heard of Remote Year before? And also keep an eye out for the blog that's coming out that goes a little bit more in detail about those other programs. So in order to catch that blog, go to alongcameawriter.com, follow my blog, follow my stories, and get the dirty details on life abroad. Hope you enjoy. Deuces.
Chaotic. Exhausting.
Interesting.
Usually people associate that with the negative, but I think for me personally I love chaos because, you know, it's something where I like to take a step back and look at the big picture. So many moving parts. We were the third or fourth group to ever start, so they knew what they were doing a little bit, and they've grown so much since there. But since we started, it's kind of been like flying by the seat of our pants, and it's been chaotic, but in such a great way. In that we don't really know what's up next, other than you've got a flight, an accommodation, and a workspace, and that's it.
Moving around every month, you don't fall into ruts like you would at home. There's always new restaurants to check out. There's always new attractions to see. There's always 1,000 sites to do. And in the midst of all of this, you're with 50 to 75 people who just want to do as much as you do. And everyone is always a quick Slack message away, so there's always something going on. And the knowledge that you're only doing this for a year, as part of the program anyway, really leads to a lot of motivation for you to get out. So we're always go, go, go.
So I like to tell people that I do what I do, or what I want when I want to do it. However, I get my financial resources through my project management and digital marketing company, One Epiphany.
So I am a marketing person. I keep that very vague because what I do is I build marketing campaigns, I analyze them, I do a lot of the creative and some of the analytics and reporting behind that. So I never really had a title, I just kind of like the marketing handyman, the marketing Swiss Army knife. So that's what I'd say I do, is I do marketing.
I'm an economist. I do economic forecasting for banks covering the U.S. economy. I also am, and mostly still am, a political consultant. In the current environment in the U.S., I've backed away from that.
Typical work day. I would say my typical day in general is I get up. I actually started running, so depending on the day I run about 3 days a week. For me, during Remote Year, I have a business purpose, so in every country that I go to, I set up meetings with local organizations like tourism boards, Chamber of Commerce, people in hospitality, because I'm wanting to better understand their marketing challenges when it comes to trying to bring in travelers from abroad, such as Americans or other English-speaking travelers, so that I can see if there's a potential gap that my digital marketing company could fill. So I'm sending out emails, following up on emails, going to meetings, but otherwise really just trying to enjoy the city that I'm in. My business allows me to have that flexibility with my time. So unlike some of my cohorts within Darien, it can be like they're working straight 9 to 5 type job.
So I have to kind of keep U.S. East Coast hours. So a lot of it depends on where we are in the world. Here in South America, it's great because we're on about U.S. time zones. So I wake up early, do most of my work in the morning, and then afternoons are free for me. So, typically I'll try and go do some less pressing work, find a cafe somewhere, a new restaurant, hang out there, work for the day. In the evenings, there's always something going on. So, usually go out, go to dinner, go see tourist attractions or something like that.
I'd always been wanting to travel. I started my job, it was remote, and then after a year I moved to Charlotte, the headquarters, because I love North Carolina. I was working in the office, it just didn't feel right, I didn't like it. My coworkers could tell it was affecting my attitude. I found this program and I said, well, this would be interesting. I want to go move somewhere, but I spend all my time planning and never actually doing because I want to find the perfect spot. And I felt like this would be a great way to test out 10 countries, 12 cities to see what I like in a city, what I like in a country, how far do I want to be from home, can I even do it? And all those things kind of checked off. I approach every city as, could I live here? Some people are here to travel, to explore. I just say, could I live here? What I like about it? Anything to that degree. So,
that's a good question. Honestly, I have been working remote for a long time. I had always wanted to travel, but the thought of having to deal with the logistics of traveling always kind of kept me from pulling the trigger. So when I heard about remote here, I thought it would be honestly just a good thing to get me off my butt and out the door and start traveling if I made the cut, which I did. And so sold everything a month later, and then here I am. Truth be told, remote here was the first thing like this I had ever heard about, and I didn't even realize there were programs that did this type of thing until a month or two maybe ago. So yeah, I just heard about remote here, signed up, pulled the trigger.
Combination, I think it's expensive, especially if we have people international. So, and no matter what it is, we have people from Australia, UK, New Zealand, a lot of people from the Netherlands. And so when you're paying, if you're not making the equivalent of U.S. company, U.S. salary, it's usually not as, it's a little bit more expensive. So I think some of the people are saying, okay, it's very expensive, I can do this on my own. So some people go travel on their own. Some people, realize it's not for them, go back home. Some people, their jobs say, hey, we thought you were okay traveling. Turns out we want you back. So there's all kinds of reasons people will stop traveling. It's usually because they can do it on their own or want to do it on their own. And now that we've done it for 9 months, there's a lot more flexibility.
Different people. For me, people really make the difference. I've been traveling on my own for a while and been working remotely for a while, so the whole concept of remote year isn't new for me. But what is new is the people that I'm traveling with, starting your journey with, at least for the Daring group, the name of the group that I'm in, 74 other people is interesting, and then see a lot of those people leave over time. That's interesting. And then wondering why I'm still participating, that's interesting too. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but it really just comes down to the people. We're a really good group of people.
It's the opposite of an office, where in an office the only thing you have in common is where you work. Here, the only thing we don't have in common is where we work.
Okay, some aspects I was, hoping it would just happen miraculously. I'm like, oh, there's going to be a group of us all traveling together, and we're going to motivate and inspire one another. We're going to have all these awesome experiences. But some of that you have to initiate and do on your own. So that's one of the things I had realized is I'm just really waiting for it just to magically appear. But as an entrepreneur myself, I was thinking that there would be more entrepreneurs within the group. I definitely appreciate having other people around, so that it's hey, does anyone go out and catch lunch or go get dinner together? That's really appreciative, because most of my travels have been on my own, so at least having that built-in unit is rather nice.
The best experience, man, that's what I would probably say when we were in Morocco, which was very much a month of highs and lows. basically everyone at some point went to the Sahara. That was definitely a high point for me. That was just a really cool experience. It's so quiet, so isolated out there. That definitely makes the top. Worst experience. I haven't had very many outwardly bad experiences, truth be told. Most of them have been interesting more so than bad.
Worst experience. I definitely have those days where I'm working and I'm looking outside and I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm in Valencia right now. It's a 5-hour time difference. It's 8 o'clock. It's dinner time. Everyone's going to dinner. I just want to go. Why do I have to work? I'm so over this. So at times it gets stressful when you're apart from your company. There's never been a real low for me. Although I guess the one story I do have was actually traveling in Spain. I'm not really sure if it was a problem with the rental car. That's the official thing that went on our transcript, or if it was a problem with the gasoline that was put in. But we're finishing up a road trip, about 20 minutes left, and our car just stopped working. Completely broke down on the side of the road. None of us speak Spanish. We're not exactly near a major city where people can speak English. We had to piece everything together, push the car into a dealership. Turns out the dealership only works on their specific cars. Had to call up the insurance company, and of course, because they're in Spain, they have their siestas. So we pull in at 2:30. No one's actually at the place till 4. We wait an hour and a half at this little cafe. 4 o'clock, I pieced together in Spanish that our car's broken down. Is there anything he can do to help? And he apologizes after an hour, saying no, they can't. Call the insurance company. We finally get to our destination after getting a new rental car and a pickup about 6 hours, 7 hours late. It's late at night. That was probably the worst part. That, it's a road trip, you're ready to go out and explore, and then you completely get this entire day wiped out because your car breaks down, you can't speak the language. And then my favorite part, there are so many favorite parts. There are a lot of favorite parts. My favorite part was probably my birthday. We were in Morocco, which is a Muslim country, so very dry. There's 2 liquor stores in the entire area. We're in the capital, so there's no alcohol. There's not a lot of nightlife. A lot of the women didn't feel comfortable because it was everyone's very pushy there too. It just wasn't a great culture. You could tell everyone was down. Some people left early and just couldn't take it anymore. And it was 5 weeks, which is the longest we'll ever be in a place. It was one of the 3 cities that's 5 weeks long. That was for the month of October. My birthday's November 2nd. We were all just kind of fed up. And for my birthday, a bunch of my friends did a surprise for me. I took the day off. I was just relaxing. And then what they did is they invited me over to a friend's place and they did a roast. So they did a roast of me, and then they had everything that I kind of missed. They had Reese's, which I hadn't seen, Reese's peanut butter cups in forever, a couple bottles of wine, all these games, and it just that was the only time I cried so far in a row here. That was definitely probably one of my happiest moments.
I will say there's 2. Morocco was a good experience for me because I've been traveling since '95, and I would say prior to remote year, I started living a home-free lifestyle 2.5 years ago in 2014. So at least as far as going around and visiting different countries and being outside your comfort zone, been there and done that. When I went to Morocco, and specifically when I was staying in Rabat, it was different. And the reason why I say it was a good experience is because for the first time in a long time, I found myself outside my comfort zone from a travel perspective, and that was enlightening for me. The second part actually happened or occurred yesterday when a gentleman, we don't necessarily know one another, but we've crossed paths a few times. And yesterday he was going let's do a formal introduction. We introduced ourselves. And just tell me, how did you get to be where you are today? And I'm thinking, my parents, but then he was explaining more. He was I've seen you a few times and you just have this strength about you, this energy that I just know whatever you do, you're going to do well. And I'm oh, well, I thank you. And so long story shorter, it was just one of those wow moments that he could see, and he had said this through me, that I have reached, I have arrived at the place that I've been seeking, or I'm really close to being there. And that's one of the things for this journey that I'm right now. And so I was like, wow, complete stranger is seeing something in me that I've been hoping to achieve. And it's like, wow, I'm closer to it than I ever thought. Worst experience, being away from your family when there's a serious medical situation. Prior to remote year, I had a parent dealing with cancer, and then early on in remote year, my other parent was diagnosed with cancer. And it's the guilt that you have for just living your life, but being further away. And so it was that struggle. It's like I did return to the U.S. to spend time and take care of that parent. And then with the encouragement of, I have one of the most awesome family units ever. But with like just the encouragement return to remote year, I did want to go. So I did want to return, but at the same time, it's like within my immediate family, I have two older siblings. I'm the one that has the most flexibility to be wherever I need to be when needed. So that was just one of the more struggling times, just dealing with that.
It so depends, because when you read, you have to, first of all, you need a company that can let you travel and finance this, or luckily, if you have enough money on your own to finance it. My company was great. They said, hey, go for it. It's so supportive. It wasn't, hey, we'll test it out or we'll see how it goes. It's, you did the research. I gave them a breakdown of the time difference, and I said, can I do this? I said, yeah, we support you 100%. They've been so supportive. They can't wait till I get back, but no, I'm going to take my time getting back. So that's the number one thing. I have that. And then it depends on how you kind of look at it. Like I said, they didn't really give us a lot of information at this point. One remote year, two other remote year groups had been deployed, and none of them had been out for longer than 6 months. So there wasn't a lot of history or track record, and the publicity you saw was very negative because the first group didn't have great accommodations and internet, which they fixed for us. So I'm reading this thinking, up till the day I had to put my deposit in, and even after the day I put my deposit in, I said, oh my God, what am I doing? I can't believe I just did this on a whim. But I looked at it and I said, they're giving me accommodations, they're giving me private room, workspace, internet, and travel. And I said, okay, that's all they're giving me, and I came with low expectations. I also don't really require much. I don't need a lot of comfort or material things. So for me, it ends up being a great time. I know a couple people were disappointed with the transition. Transitions are always difficult. But for me, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Probably the best experience one of my best experiences of my life to date. So a lot of people are, for example, there's some people from San Francisco, the Bay Area, where we're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month for them is less than their rent, and they get all this stuff included. There's one of them. So they're like, yeah, this is a great experience. Everything's so much cheaper, so I didn't expect a whole lot. It wasn't going to be great, but you're going from a studio in New York or a studio in San Francisco to having your own room in this huge, awesome apartment. I'm on the 17th story of this great condo overlooking the city. It's absolutely wonderful. But the transition is, you're doing this every single month, so the people that are comfortable and get comfortable and have their own ways, the first few weeks can be a little struggle to get used to. Okay, I'm in a foreign city, they don't speak English here, or I don't know the language at all. I'm thousands of miles away from home. My grocery store is not here. Oh my God, there's no Mac store. How do I get new headphones? Anything like that. So it's all those little things that took a little bit of transition. And then, for example, this week, we're leaving to go to Peru, so we're all feeling like, okay, it's time to go. We've been here for this is another 5-week city. We're excited. We're ready to get going. But then when we get there, you almost immediately say, oh my God, I miss my bathroom, my shower. I miss all the comforts. I miss my grocery store. So there's always a little bit of transition, and I think we've got it down from a couple of weeks to maybe 3 or 4 days to say, okay, I love my new city now.
Like being in the U.S., nothing really different. You're one of the few people of color within the group. People say things that they think are funny, but they're not. And you either choose to speak up and say, hey dude, no, no. Or you just let it slide and say, you know what, I just don't want to be bothered. Like, I would love to have a conversation about being Black and abroad, or being Black in general, no matter where you are, and some of the perceptions that have either occurred within the group or just in general, just like what's happening within the U.S. and what this means for me, for anyone who wants to have that, like a real conversation because they really want to understand. So at least part of it, like I said, the group I've been traveling with have been great, but in the grand scheme of things, is similar to being in the U.S. You pick your battles. Some people are more understanding and more, well, that's the word that's been going around, woke, than others. And then some people think that they are, but they're not really. And then when it comes to like just being in different countries and everything, for the most part, other than being called outside my name in Tangier when I was in Morocco, it's been fine. It's like I've been probably more accepted and more welcome than I would have in my home country of the United States. So at least from a traveling perspective, it's really eye-opening as far as like people not seeing you as, or seeing me as an African-American woman. I'm just an American. There is no color when it comes to an American. You know, so I would say that's the biggest difference. But traveling with a group of predominantly Americans, like being in the U.S.
The one tip that I would give everyone is to stop asking for tips. The reality is, a lot of people live in the rest of the world, and they do so very successfully. You know, people tend to get in their own heads when undertaking something like this, but you're not going camping. You're living in, you know, even though it's not as developed as the United States, you're living in big cities that lots of people live in very successfully. If you don't pack something, if you forget something, there's a good chance you can get it. Most of the cities, particularly in the remote that we're on, have, you know, Uber or something so you can get around, have Airbnbs, you can book places if you're striking out on side trips. You know, the world has become a remarkably small place thanks to the internet, and, you know, for better or worse, a lot more homogenous as well. Your life doesn't have to change that much from whatever your life is in the U.S. using the U.S.
If you definitely are the kind of person that wants to take a week off in the summer and go line a beach, this is definitely not a vacation. I've been working a lot harder and a lot longer hours since I've been here. The time zones can be a little bit of a struggle, but if you're just out to say, I want to go explore the world, I've never been anywhere, or, you know, I've been to one of these places in the itinerary, I haven't been to a lot of places, I want to go explore, I don't feel comfortable doing it solo or for an extended time on my own or with a small group, or maybe you just want someone to take care of it all, it's absolutely a great program. So I'm a big planner. I'm definitely not going home immediately. We're done at the end of May. So I'll be taking, actually my cousin's wedding is the weekend before we leave. So I'm actually going home from Buenos Aires to New Jersey, back to Buenos Aires within 3 days for my cousin's wedding, my parents' 33rd wedding anniversary. And that's my gift to them. But then I told them I'm spending another month traveling. So be in Buenos Aires, my goal is to go back to New Jersey to visit my family. So I'm going to be spending 3 weeks traveling in South America, working my way north, Ecuador, Panama, flying home. Probably spend the summer just, you know, hanging around with some friends, and then get right back out and traveling. I'm actually dating someone who's part of the group. She's from Connecticut and also loves to travel. So our goal is to go home, save up some money, and hit the road as soon as possible.
Well, yeah, that's a question a lot of us are starting to grapple with. We just crossed the 100 days left mark here. So I'm a little bit up in the air a little bit. I do think I'm going to go back to Denver for a while at least. But I'd love to keep traveling. One of the bad things about traveling is the more you see, the more you want to see. I'd love to do another swing through Europe where we started, to see more of the Middle East, and Africa we just touched the tip of. I'd love to see more of Sub-Saharan Africa. Playing it by ear for now.
I've been telling people, although I have no plans specifically, because I said I'm going to be planning over the summer, that in the fall I'm going to do Southeast Asia for a few months. And then I'm an avid skier and I have been missing out on ski season. So I figure I will return to the States for ski season, and then March of 2018, see where I land globally. But right now I figure it may be in Latin America. Remote year isn't for everybody. But I will say it's a good fit for a lot of people if they just want to have travel and family merged together. Tramily, yeah, a tramily. You know, and I would say that's basically what you end up getting, and similar to my Real Blood family.
I guess in closing, I would say if you're on the fence at all, err on the side of doing it.